Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now I'm going to do another Instagram Q&A where you can head over to my Instagram and ask me pretty much any question that you'd like. And guys, if you haven't seen it yet, definitely make sure to check out my top 10 list of the best budget DSLRs. Now this is updated with a whole lot of new cameras, so if you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description box below and you can check out what comes in at number 1. But anyway, let's get started with the very first question. So the first question asks, hey Chris, what do you think about the brand new Nikon D3400 and how do you think it will compare to the Canon T6? Well, it's actually a really good question and it's something that I'm quite excited to find out as well. As you guys know, I did quite a big kind of review comparison between the old Nikon D3300 and the Canon T6, and I found that they were really well matched from both Canon and Nikon's side. So the D3400 with a few new features could be the better buy, especially if you're looking for your very first entry-level camera. So I'm thinking about getting my hands on a Nikon D3400, doing a complete review on that, and also doing a comparison between that and the Canon T6, and maybe even the Nikon D5500 as well. So if you guys would like to see that, let me know by leaving a thumbs up on this video. So I've got a question here saying, hey, here's a question I've had many different answers for. Is it better to upgrade your camera body or your lens? That's a really good question, and to me, I generally like to invest my money in good lenses and good glass. The reason for that is that they can last a really long time and they can generally make more of a difference in the way that your photos and your videos are going to look. In terms of camera bodies, they can last for a few years, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, whereas lenses, if you look after them, they can last a whole lot longer. So generally I will tell people, don't worry that much about a body. You can even get a second-hand body or a cheaper body. It's not going to make as big of a difference, but actually if you can invest in some really nice lenses, they'll last you a whole lot longer and they'll make a big difference in the way that your photos look. Next up, I've got a question saying, how often do you do giveaways? I do giveaways really quite often. On my Instagram, I do them quite a lot more, but I am going to be doing a big camera giveaway in the next few months, so stay tuned for that. Next up, we've got a question saying, Canon 100D or Nikon D3300? Probably the Canon 100D, especially if it's your first camera. It's a little bit cheaper at the moment, especially if you pick it up secondhand. And if you're going to be buying a Nikon camera, I'd probably be looking at getting the brand new Nikon D3400 now, probably not the D3300. It's probably a better camera. So next up, I've got a question saying, is buying the Panasonic GM1 instead of the GM5 stupid? I want it in silver, but the GM5 only comes in black or red. No, it's not stupid at all. The Panasonic GM1, the camera that I've got right here, is a fantastic little camera. Now, the GM5 is the newer version, and what it really includes is an electronic viewfinder. Now, I thought that I might miss that when I had this camera, but I actually found that using the screen on the back here really quite nice, and it actually has never stopped me from taking any nicer photos. And the GM5, as you said, does come in black or red, and I didn't really like the look of that either. So go ahead, get the GM1, you will absolutely love it. And if you do need to have a viewfinder, maybe use your DSLR instead, but I really do like the GM1, highly recommended. So I got a question here saying, Sir Chris Winter, I like that title. What's the best lens to get a bokeh photo? The gear that I'm using is a Canon T6, thank you very much. Well, if you want to get a nice bokeh or a background blur, you really want to have a lens that has a really wide aperture, so a lower number. So something like Canon 50mm f1.8 is generally the most popular budget lens that you can get to get a really nice shallow depth of field. You can also get something like a Canon 50mm f1.4, and if you want to get even more of a background blur or more bokeh, you can go for a longer telephoto lens like an 85mm f1.8, and you're really going to be able to get that very shallow depth of field and really blur out the background. Next up, got a question saying, hi Chris, I've recently been interested in getting into photography and wanted to ask, what is a good camera to practice with? Really good question, and it's so cool that you're getting into photography. You're gonna love it. It's a really, really cool hobby to have, and you know, if you do good in the future, you can totally make a living out of it. Best camera to play around with is any camera. Generally, I like to say use your phone. There's so many different apps on here and things to really, you know, explore your creativity, and the best camera is always the camera that you've got. And if you can take a really good photo with your phone, you can generally take a really good photo with a DSLR in the future. Now, if you do have an old DSLR lying around, maybe your dad or your uncle's got one, or your auntie or someone like that, try it out, test it out, try and throw it into manual mode, and just play around with it. It's the best thing. There's heaps of tutorials online on how to take photos with it, but pretty much any camera will get you out there taking photos and really having fun. And last question, what's your favorite camera at the moment? Well, as you guys know, I actually use a lot of different cameras, from beginner cameras like the Nikon D3400 all the way up to pro cameras like the Canon 5D Mark III. But at the moment, my absolute favorite camera is this one here. It's the Instax Mini. This is a Neo 90, and it's a kind of an instant camera. Like, it takes little Polaroid photos. They're not that expensive, and it really is a fun thing to kind of take a photo, see it develop, and everyone loves to kind of look around and take some really nice photos. So I might make a video on this one later on. If you'd like to see that, make sure to leave a thumbs up. But yeah, really fun little camera, kind of going old school. So there you go, guys. That was another Instagram Q&A. If you did enjoy it, I'd love it if you leave a thumbs up. And also definitely make sure to check out my top 10 list of the best budget DSLRs. The link will be in the description box below under this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.